Li Zun regained his senses, snorted again, looked up at the sky, and although he didn't say anything, his meaning was quite obvious. Che Hao, now thinking of the instructions from ZhuXian true person before they left, felt somewhat regretful. Taking the opportunity, he stepped back and called out from behind, "Sister Le, what Brother Fashing said makes sense. Let's prioritize harmony." Seeing Zhang Xiaofan being looked at by Les Weki, he suddenly felt a chill in his heart, an indescribable feeling welling up. Fashing continued, "Well then, let's head down the mountain for now. We'll explore the cave tomorrow morning." At this point, there were no objections from the group. Fashing led the way, and the others followed him, flying on their swords. To a small hill 30 miles away from Quangsing Mountain, there was a clear spring here, just what the disciples of Qingyun Sect needed. After washing up by the water and changing clothes in a secluded place, they came out to meet Fashing and the others. Les Weki, being a woman, was not very convenient, and the place for changing clothes was found farthest away, so she was the last to come out. When everyone looked at her, they saw that although she had been washed and cleaned up, she seemed even more beautiful than before, with a touch of charm added to her original beauty, which made everyone's eyes light up. Needless to say, Zhang Xiaofan and Li Zun's eyes were shining, and even Yan Hong from Incense Valley, who had been silent all along, looked at her a few more times. The 8 outstanding disciples of the 3 major righteous sects were sitting together, discussing. It was from Fashing and the others that Zhang Xiaofan learned that the bats in the ancient bat cave were a kind of exotic breed bred by the demonic cult in those days, ferocious, brutal, and bloodthirsty. After the demonic cult was destroyed 800 years ago, a small number of bats survived here. Over time, they multiplied abundantly, resulting in the large scale today. Every time they prayed, they left the area of 500 miles uninhabited. However, these bats seemed to fear sunlight, so they only moved at night, resting in the ancient bat cave during the day. Last night, the Qingyun Sect trio had encountered them by chance. If they went up the mountain during the day, they would be fine. Hearing this, Zhang Xiaofan frowned and asked Fashing, "Brother Fashing, since those beasts are all in the ancient bat cave, how do we go and explore?" Fashing hesitated for a moment and said, "From what I've observed these days, these beasts only hang upside down on the top of the cave during the day and don't move. We might be able to enter, or we might not." Zhang Xiaofan was speechless, but Zhang Xiaofan couldn't help but say, "So, Brother Fashing, you're not sure either. Those guys might pounce on us as soon as they see us entering the cave. What should we do then?" Fashing looked at him, and there seemed to be some flicker in his eyes, but he remained gentle and said, "Exactly. I'm not completely sure, but since we've been ordered by the sect, we have to try. If it doesn't work out, we'll just retreat. Today, Brother Fashion, I, and the 2 disciples from Incense Valley were planning to explore the cave. Unexpectedly, we met you all. It's better this way, with more people for assistance. HMPH. Li Zun snorted again. Cha Hao and the others from Qingyun Sect all looked at him. Li Zun wasn't afraid, but when he saw Liz Weki's gaze, his expression changed slightly. Cha Hao ignored him, turning to Fashing. "One more thing, please advise us." "Brother Fashing," Fashing said with a smile. "Brother Che, please speak." Cha Hao said, 3 months ago, our Qingyun Sect's senior disciple, Ziyikai, had already come here. Do you know where he is now? Fashing shook his head. "We came here with the 2 from Incense Valley and haven't seen Senior Z." Che Hao furrowed his brows and fell into silence. The next day, as the sun rose, Zhang Xiaofan and the other 7 arrived at Quangsing Mountain. All they saw was desolation, with rocks and sand covering the ground. Despite the vastness of the mountain, not even the chirping of birds could be heard, indicating that either the ferocious bats had already feasted or the creatures had migrated from this peak. The group had been preceded by Faxiang and others who had found the location of the 10,000 bat ancient cave days prior. Now, following their lead cautiously, they finally arrived at the mouth of the cave. It was a huge semi-cave halfway up the mountain, located in a shady area with a slight downward slope. Only the entrance had some dim light, while further inside was pitch black. Standing about 5 or 6 zhang away from the entrance, everyone felt gusts of cold wind blowing out from the cave, chilling them to the bone. Faint rustling sounds could be heard, resembling whispers or ghostly cries, sending shivers down their spines. Che Hao glanced at the cave once more, then turned back with a forced smile, saying, "Let's go in." Silently, the others nodded. Faxiang added, "Indeed, but this cave is full of unknown dangers. It's best to have your immortal treasures ready, just in case." Understanding the gravity of the situation, everyone swiftly retrieved their magical treasures. When Li Zun, Yin Hong, and the 2 monks from Tianyin Temple saw Zhang Xiaofan pull out a pitch-black fire stick, they were taken aback, their expressions filled with surprise, blushing slightly with embarrassment. Zhang Xiaofan was saved from further scrutiny as Lu Zweki, bathed in the cyan light of her Tianyin blue, coldly said, "Let's go." With that, she strode forward, leading the way into the darkness. The others hurried to follow suit. As they approached the entrance, with the chilling wind growing more intense, Faxiang seemed to intentionally or unintentionally draw closer to Zhang Xiaofan. Sensing this, Zhang Xiaofan smiled at him. Faxiang returned the smile and whispered, "Junior brother Zhang, it's perilous ahead. You should follow behind me." Startled, Zhang Xiaofan hesitated for a moment before seeing Faxiang already disappearing into the darkness. Without further thought, he hurried to catch up with the rest. Just as he stepped into the cave and took a few steps, Zhang Xiaofan felt the ground give way beneath him, sinking down to his ankles before halting. He was alarmed, but relieved that he hadn't sunk further.